We're welcoming back Ted Savransky, professional sports bettor out in Las Vegas, and we're going to talk about an interesting NBA game tonight with the San Antonio Spurs traveling to Phoenix to take on the Suns. Now, it's a very big line. It's minus 16, and you never know what Popovich has up his sleeve when it comes to resting his crew. So I'm anxious to hear Ted's breakdown and what he might like or lean to in this game, whether it's a side, a total, whatever that may be. Ted, first and foremost, glad to have you back. Looking at this game, what are your thoughts? And is this line just a little too high for your liking, even though the Spurs have been producing this year?
Well, I mean, you talked about the concerns about San Antonio. This is the first of back-to-backs for the Spurs. They'll be playing in L.A. at the Staples Center against the Lakers tomorrow night. And Popovich certainly has a history of unannounced resting starters and the like. He's done it this year on more than one occasion. Guess what? It hasn't mattered even a little bit. Tony Parker's going to be out tonight. You know what the Spurs have done in 3 games without Parker this year?
Lit it up.
They've won them all by 20. I mean, just blowing teams off the floor. The Spurs, the single best point spread team in the NBA at 29-13 against the number. And they've done it despite, I mean, you could put, I've seen 15 bad spots where no other team's going to cover. San Antonio's covering those games. I've seen, you know, the back-to-backs, this guy's sitting, that guy's sitting. Oh, there was one game where he sat everybody in the fourth quarter, and then the third stringers came in and dominated. The Spurs are as deep as any team I've ever seen in the NBA. And you talk about bizarre point spread move. Again, Parker is sitting. The opener on this game, minus 12, minus 12 and a half. Now the line is minus 16 in a lot of spots. How often do you see a 3.5-point move for a team that's sitting there starting point guard? That's the respect San Antonio has in the betting marketplace right now.
Wow. Wow. And with that being said, we didn't even have to touch on the deficiencies of the Phoenix Suns and everything going wrong there. You know, of course, when Bledsoe went down, that changed the whole dynamics of that team. And you're absolutely right, Ted. When someone's sitting, whether it's multiple players or not, they just cover, because I couldn't agree more. I have never seen such a deep bench and such quality. And, you know, Greg Popovich has an art to the way he rests players, similar to the way Belichick plugs holes in the NFL. So I like that. If you had to lean which way, whether it was a total, what is that total sitting at right now, Ted?
Look at about 200 and a hook right now. Okay. And let me just talk about Phoenix for a minute, because you pointed at the Bledsoe injury as being the key point. I don't agree with that at all. They were tanking before Bledsoe got hurt. The Bledsoe injury just exacerbated the situation, because we had Bledsoe and Brandon Knight. Here are 2 guards that really can break down any defense. And they'll get to the hole. And in the fourth quarter, they were so good at penetrating, kicking to their teammates, getting to the free throw line. And it kept Phoenix competitive in a lot of games that maybe they wouldn't have been otherwise. When Bledsoe got hurt and Markieff Morris threw the towel at Hornacek, to me, that may have been the bigger issue, because that was all the underlying frustration that had been going on with this team. And now all of a sudden the players are disrespecting the coach. They haven't been the same since Morris tossed that towel in Hornacek's face. And we're talking about a very ugly run right now. 3-15 straight up their last 18, 5-13 against the spread. But it's worth noting that the Suns they've been getting killed in every road game. They haven't lost a home game at more than 16 points during this entire span. In fact, they haven't lost a home game at more than 16 since a November loss to the Warriors. So you're not going to get rich laying 16 on the road in the NBA. Not going to happen. You're not going to get rich taking very, very bad, taking one of the worst teams in the NBA, maybe the worst team in the NBA, against the elites. Side here for me is a complete pass. But total-wise, I'm interested in the over. There was a time in which San Antonio didn't do a whole lot against the up-tempo teams. That time has come and gone. And in recent years, when the Spurs have gotten the chance to run, they've run teams off the court. So I'm anticipating a fairly fast pace tonight. 200.5 seems reasonable to me to bet over if you're looking to make a wager on this game.
I like that. I like the breakdown. I like the value. You heard it, viewers. Take that over at 200.5, and that's probably going to just absolutely cash the ticket. Because, even though Phoenix is a mess, if they get into a transition game with somebody, they have some guys that can still drop it in the hoop. So we'll see what happens. Ted, thanks so much for being with us. And again, that's why they play the game. Look forward to talking to you again real soon.